Well, Charles James filed this report for Sierra Wave Media. It was a nice day for picketing as several dozen Inyo County employees let the public know they're not happy with the progress of talks with the County of Inyo after working the last 3 months without a contract agreement. Many of the cars and big rigs passing on Main Street Bishop honked their horns and wave support to the union members. Now, unable to talk to the press while union negotiations continue with Inyo County, did not stop 3 dozen union members that work for the county from using their signs to let their feelings be known about how the direction of a new labor contract seems to be going, which appear to be at an impasse. Several union speakers and local union supporters, including nurses from Northern Inyo Hospital who recently completed a successful contract with the support of the local county union, emphasized the importance of public services that make life in Inyo County safer and manageable. One sign mentioned an offer of a 1% raise, which obviously has only served to antagonize the county workers who claim that what that basically amounts to is a 15-cent an hour increase. They found that insulting. The purpose of the union members picketing on Main Street Bishop was to bring awareness that the unions and Inyo County are in labor contract negotiations, and the union would like the public support for livable wages that at least keep up with inflation. Thank Charles James for that story, and Deb Murphy filed this report noting that if it's December, it must be time for the annual report on the Lower Owens River project. Representatives from the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, the Inyo County Water Department, and interested parties gathered at the department's office early Tuesday morning for the report recap and recommendations from consultants Dr. William Platt and Mark Hill, the latter by telephone. Now, the consultants seem to have accepted the Lower Owens River is what it is, and project goals and management practices need to be reevaluated based on what we have, said Hill. Now, Hill and Platt, as well as many others in the sparse audience, viewed the county's Owens River Water Trail project as an opportunity to improve flows and provide recreational opportunities, both goals of the project. Now, the last few years' reports and recommendations have been deja vu-ish. Progress towards the goals of the project has been slower than hoped, and the Lower Owens resembles a canal more than a natural river. Over the last few years, Platt and Hill have pushed for increases in the seasonal flows to more closely imitate nature and take out the tules clogging the channel and wreaking havoc on what were once grasslands. Now, the parameters of the project in its 10th year are spelled out in a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, among often conflicting parties. Some of the recommendations would have required changes to those parameters agreed to by all parties. That didn't happen. Now, this year's report from LADWP's Lori DeModi and Eric Tillemans on avian surveys and hydrology were encouraging. Inyo's mitigation manager Larry Freilich reported the rapid assessment survey indicated a slight increase in new tree growth and a slight decline in invasive salt cedar and pepperweed. One downside, an increase of new roads into the river's floodplain. Now, the consultants focused on maintaining a healthy fishery and accepting that a natural river system is not going to happen, to concentrate on active intervention. Platt and Hill's first example of that intervention was the Owens River Water Trail, for which the county has been awarded a $500,000 California River Parkway grant from the Department of Natural Resources. Now, the project would open up 6.3 miles of the river for kayaks and canoes from the narrow gauge road north of Lone Pine to State Route 136 in the south, with handicapped accessible input and takeout. Now, before those $500,000 funds can begin to flow, the county has to negotiate a site agreement with the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. LADWP's DeModi explained the department wanted a CEQA, California Environmental Quality Act study, to evaluate all the impacts before it entered into agreement. Well, Inyo County can't afford the approximately $80,000 to do the environmental study without the grant funding, which won't come without a side agreement. Now, Mike Prather reminded the panel, in addition to recreation described as the weak stepsister of the Lower Owens River project, the water trail would improve both flow and water quality. Now, additional department concerns are a commitment to 20 years of maintenance and the spoilage. That's the gunk excavated from a short stretch of the 6.3-mile trail that would closely resemble what a natural river would leave on the river's edge during high flow years. Now, according to Inyo County's Freilich, the county is looking at the implications of the 20-year maintenance commitment. They're doing their due diligence, he said. Now, the grant funding will be available until May of 2021, but Freilich said the state has to see some project. His estimation of the actual design and construction work is 2 years. That 2016 Lower Owens River Project annual report is available at the LADWP website, ladwp.com. You want to go to /LORP. Comments are due to either Aqueduct Manager Jim Yanata at LADWP or Bob Harrington, Inyo County Water Director, at the Water Department, I should say, by January 5th. Now, we thank Deb Murphy for that story and the Inyo County Water Department for the photos. Well, the press release notes that predictions about the flu season are very difficult, but there are several things that are becoming very clear. Indications are that we are experiencing an early start to the flu season. Now, most of the confirmed cases are the type A H3N2, which is the most serious. Dr. Richard Johnson, Inyo Mono Health Director, says we always hope that the flu will not arrive until after the holiday season, but evidence is mounting that this year will be different. We'll go to Washoe County in Reno, Nevada, reported 230 confirmed cases of influenza in the week ending December 10th, with approximately 10% being hospitalized. Los Angeles County has reported an increase in positive lab tests, 6 times the rate from last year. Now, Sierra Park clinics in Mammoth Lakes saw a dramatic rise in influenza-like illness in the week ending this past Saturday, December 17th. Now, that press release notes that sadly, as of November of 2016, only 2 of 5 people older than 6 months of age were vaccinated against influenza. Last year in California, there were 70 confirmed deaths, including 3 pediatric fatalities, mostly in people not vaccinated. The benefits of the vaccine are substantial. It is estimated that 5 million cases of influenza and 71,000 hospitalizations are prevented each year with vaccination. So it's not too late. Again, recommending that you get vaccinated and enjoy a blessed holiday season. And with thousands of people joining us here in the Eastern Sierra this holiday season, a reminder about recent parking regulation changes at the Village at Mammoth. Now, with newly developed parking added by the town of Mammoth Lakes, press release notes the Mammoth Lakes Police Department would like to inform citizens of updates in regards to the improvements and the corresponding enforcement. Now, in order to improve parking availability and efficient traffic flow, there are several additional parking areas designed to serve the general public around the Village at Mammoth and the Westin Montrachet Resort. We urge you, check parking restrictions wherever you go in Mammoth Lakes so you don't get a ticket and have a not so Merry Christmas. We'll be back with more news.